crisscrossing design, and today I'm going to show you a cool way that I like to layer DIY clay paint. There's plenty of ways out there that you can find on the internet. This is just one of my favorite looks. You can kind of see the front here, but I'm going to start on this side. So we're going to get started, and thank you for joining me. So today I'm going to start with two of my very favorite colors from the DIY clay paint line. We've got weathered wood and old school. Old school is like a dark charcoal, and weathered wood is a nice grayish brown. So I'm going to start with those two colors. I've got them kind of in my tray like this, and I'm just going to kind of layer in different areas. I'm trying to go for like a barn door kind of effect. So I don't want it to be monochromatic. I'm just gonna do stripes in different areas, kind of go across here. I'm leaving some of the wood showing. So I'm gonna do the same thing here. Up, and then maybe some over here. I want to cover the whole crown molding. And I don't have a lot of paint on my brush. I'm just kind of lightly adding, you know, I'm not using a lot of pressure on my brush. I'm just kind of swooping. This is just for the, you know, the beginning. And then we'll add water and other things to blend. When you get up to an edge like this, you kind of want to like swoop in and then just kind of pull down. So the next color I'm going to use is called Faded Burlap, and it's a really great neutral. It's great for blending. I'm just going to pour a little bit in here, and I'm going to use a Paint Pixie French tip brush. And it's okay if I get a little bit of the gray and the weathered wood in there. And I'm going to just take the Faded Burlap and I'm going to go in the areas that I didn't use the other colors. And it's okay, you know, I'm going to probably mix some in here as well. It doesn't have to be perfect because we're going for a blended look. That's one of the great things about painting, I think, is that there really isn't any real mistakes, and even when you're just starting out, you can create a beautiful piece. And if it looks terrible, you just have to paint over it, that's all. Up in here, just to kind of break up the gray. Maybe add a little water. Just to help move it along. The water helps reactivate the paint. And I'm going to use a dusty brush, which is kind of like, you could also use a chip brush. Kind of just helps pull some of that water through, helps blend. It's also great for along the molding because I can just kind of swipe it on there and give it that extra dimension of the Faded Burlap. So I'm filling in where I didn't use the other colors into the dark area. I think this just kind of gives the effect of like staggering wood. You can see like on a barn door. Like a little bit too much there, so I'm going to spray it. Adding water is always a great way to break up your brush strokes too. This little guy is also great for getting up into these edges. And you just kind of want to come up through the edges and pull down. I'm using like all the colors on the brush. Like it's okay to mix a little bit, as long as there's not too much on there. Again, I'm not using like a lot of pressure, I'm just kind of swooping. So the final color I'm going to add is called Prom Queen, and it's a really beautiful light blue. It's just going to add a little bit of color, but not be overpowering. So I've got the blue on my brush, and I'm going to kind of just put it in random areas, kind of just pulling. I'm not using a lot of pressure because I don't want it to overtake the other colors. Water so it doesn't look like brush strokes up there. What's great about this dusty brush is you can also kind of use it on its side. Really get into the smaller areas that you just want a little bit of color. Then you kind of want to step back and kind of just see if it's looking the way you want it to look. I've got a little bit too much paint collecting right here, so I'm going to spray it with water. Pull it a little bit with my dusty. I've got a little bit of water up here in the edge, or a little paint collecting up here in the edges, so I'm going to spray it. I want it to kind of look like maybe it originally was painted light blue, and then after all the years of wear and tear sitting out in the barn, only a little bit of the blue is popping through now. This is a good example of where I got too much blue. So I'm gonna go ahead and spray it with a mister. And that kind of breaks it up. Well, it doesn't kind of, it does break it up. And then I'm gonna kind of pull. I'm gonna pull very lightly with dusty. There. Okay, so that's the blue, and when I come back, I'm going to show you the final step. Okay, so now that the paint has dried, I'm just going to take some sandpaper and I'm just going to sand a little bit on some of the edges and bring through some of the wood. Just to kind of soften everything and maybe blend some of the brush strokes that might be showing. Brush off any excess dust. And I'm going to take my Paint Pixie wax brush and I'm going to add a little clear wax and a little white wax, just so I can kind of brighten it up a little bit with the white. Kind of give it a, what's the look I'm thinking of? Like a whitewash or a lime wash. But I don't want to use the white fully concentrated because it's harder to move around. I don't want it to be too white, so you gotta make sure you've got enough clear on your brush as well. Okay, and that wraps it up. So thank you so much for joining me, and I hope that you learned something new. And if you could please subscribe to my channel, I'd really love that. Have a great day.